Los Toledo Twist Maduro. This was retail $3.49 in a plaza I went to where this place on our media Ave in Tampa. For the time I'm left here, I'm just doing some shopping for some good price cigars because where I'm going next probably aren't gonna have them for this price. I'm thinking. I don't know. But anyways, yeah. I'm found this and this company I believe is based out of Oldsmar, Florida, right here. In Pinellas on the Hillsborough line. I believe their headquarter, their main company is in a flea market. And they're a cigar roller, and and these are decent sticks right here. This burns evenly. It tastes very good, and this has Cuban seed in it, and it also feels like it's a log fill stick. See, it says Cuban seed right there. Cuban seed. Mm-hmm. It feels like a log fill smoke. Gonna open up the drawer a little bit more, I think, though. But a pretty tight draw. Try to. So it's a last resort to try to cut another piece off, but have a little bit of a massage going around it here. Maybe that'll loosen it up a bit. Let's see. A little bit, still tight, but nice smoke output. Absolute nice smoke output. It has tastes of chocolate. The pre-light actually smelled like black tea, barnyard, but mostly a black tea kind of a smell of a pre-light. And it tastes chocolatey and a little bit of coffee, but it's smooth. I'm thinking that black tea that I smelled on the outside has something like that in here, and it's like it it smooths the smoke out, I would say. The fact that I smelled black tea and not something else, I don't always smell black tea when I smell a cigar before lighting it. So I did with this one though, and the smoke is smoother. It's interesting. This isn't even a strong bodied cigar, really, but it tastes like it could be when you're drawing on it and you see how it burns or when you see the oiliness, but it is not really that strong. Yeah, tastes a very nice creaminess with chocolatey, maybe slight tea leaf, maybe slight. I taste it in here. Um, yeah, it's just all around smooth and good. $3.49 retail for this. Can't beat that, can you? Look at that. Cuban seed. Jesus. It's got a little gold on the band, too. Los Toledo Twist. I always think Los Toledo has good cigars. They're a budget brand, but they have so many good sticks. I think their most expensive cigar is $6.99, but they got so many other cheap ones that I didn't even buy those because they have so many other cheap ones. You see how that works? company makes so many good cheaper sticks, you won't even buy the ones that cost more because they make more value ones that taste very good. They actually have three levels. They have the natural ones, they go for like 199, 299 or so. And this one moves a level up from that, but this feels like it's levels up from that, or at least a couple levels up. So I can't imagine that the 699 cigar would taste that much better than this one. Really? You can't guarantee it. Might be the same, but really, this is an interesting cigar line because they're so small and they're in a flea market. If my memory serves me correctly, Los Toledo is in a flea market. Their main factory, their main source of production is in a flea market. And they send them to some of the other stores in Tampa, but St. Pete don't sell these. I think this is just a Tampa stick. I've never seen these in St. Petersburg, really. It's interesting. I don't know. Every now and then I can find these in a ghetto convenience store. The natural ones, not these ones, but the natural ones with the yellow band, I can find them at other convenience stores. These right here, I found these in just one store, kind of a ghetto convenience store next to a Hispanic market, but they happen to have a better humidor case in there too. So, hey, you get them where you get them, and that's just it. And in Tampa, you're going through a lot of hoods, so you got to be willing to shop at some of the areas that some people don't want to shop at sometimes to get certain things. But 2.5 out of 4, I would say Tampa is 2.5 ghetto and 1.5 not. So you're going through some neighborhoods sometimes to get some stuff. And depending on where you're at. Like there's one part of town that's kind of the dregs of society, like Skid Row, mixed with Jason, mixed with the alternate 1985, mixed with like like restaurants like Applebee's or Olive Garden or whatever. But the parking lots look all crappy. Um the traffic is high. The In an area like that, they managed to put a very huge cigar shop right around that area. They managed to. Right where it wasn't like in one of the worst neighborhoods, possibly. Well, not the worst neighborhood, but you know what I'm saying. Kinda up there, you know? Down the street from like literal prostitution, Skid Row. Oh man. So Smoke Output's better now. Um Look at that oily sheen, like it's trying to develop on the foot here. That oily sheen, that ring right there. That's usually a good sign, and it's a better sign if you could actually get it to actually be more visible. Um, so that's an even burn. It's a very good even burn right now. Um, Retro Hill is just some nice dried fruit. Dried fruit is what I taste. Retro ale, some nice dried fruit, some kind of rice substance, um, a little chocolate, but dried fruit, tea type flavors. I still can't put my finger on all the flavors that I taste, actually. The fact that it smelled like black tea when I first opened it up, not all cigars smell like black tea. So I found that interesting. But this cigar is exactly how I predicted it to be. Maybe not 100% complex, but I expected it to have like a definite, pretty good room note to it, I would say, and something different as it's darker and it had a nice appearance to it. It's This is a winner. Yeah, tastes a little more like tea, actually. This cigar tastes a little bit more like black tea because I'm not getting definitive coffee notes, and maybe because I got the idea this was going to be like a tea base or something. I'm not getting a lot of coffee notes. I'm getting dried fruit. I'm getting black tea. Um, little chocolate. Yeah, it tastes more like tea. A little bit of graham crackers right there. A little bit of graham crackers and cocoa. Taste the cocoa in here. I don't think dark chocolate cocoa, but regular baking cocoa. I think maybe a combination. Maybe a combination. Um, on the mouth feel a bit more, but on the draw, I taste the tea and I taste the dried fruit. This is pretty unique for a $3.49 cigar. This thing's more complex though than the Baccarat that I smoked. It's definitely more complex than that. And that's a pretty decent stick too. But this is more complex than that one even. Makes me want to run out and get more of these. That's what this makes. I'll probably get more of these before I go. I know where to get them. And then they were newer too. They didn't have these when I went in there prior to going in there. See, the thing about Tampa is, right? The city might not be that great. If you're a cigar smoker and you like to get a bite to eat, or you like to go shopping, you like to um you do a few things like that. You can deal with Tampa depending on your income, depending on what's going on. And the cigar scene is great there. But if you're just overspending on your budget though, you're gonna get nervous and then you can't stay here. That's what's really gonna happen at the end of it. So the opportunities aren't coming, and when most of the people are jerks, then that just makes it more enticing to go at that point. That's what I would say. But the cigar scene there is always going to be good, I think. I don't think that's going away. The only thing that can really change about it, I think, is if changes happen to Ybor City, which it seems like they're trying to make that more of a corporate kind of a place now. That I heard about a curfew at 12 o'clock, actually, possibly going over that. They had the Orpheum, that place closed. Cigar City used to be more happening. Today it's more trashy today even than it used to be. Um, and the gunshots fired still happen because it wasn't right in front of me, but I heard it down the street when I was walking. And this was a Wednesday night. This wasn't even a Friday or Saturday. So honestly, Ybor City's a tourist trap with a lot of low class people hanging out there now. But some of them spend money too. They spend money down there. So some of them have money to spend. Don't be shocked. I mean, they might seem trashy, but they have money to spend, some of them. And they go to the bars down there and stuff. They might hang out in groups or whatever. I don't know. But it's pretty much a touristy place. And but a lot of the people I see down there don't even smoke cigars. They don't. Most of them don't. I would say enough do, but most of them don't. But my take is the prices in Ybor City got so high. There was a shop I went in for hand rolled cigars, okay? They wanted like $10 for the cheapest cigar. There was only one place, I think five or six is the cheapest, but they're the last one doing that. They're the last place doing that. Everywhere else you're paying. And then they have the Toro Sweethearts place not far from there. They have oh, mostly Tampa as a city. You gotta pick and choose. A lot of it's actually like Columbia, South Carolina, in the hood. It's like that in the way that you have to pretty much pass all the hood to do everything, or you got to be in there too to get deals or to go shopping or whatever. So it's a lot like that. There's no separating yourself coming to places like that. There isn't, and even Ybor City has a hood right outside of it. They definitely do. They have, yeah, they do. And then in the other direction, it can get really nice if you keep going and going and going and going. I found a mansion when I was driving somewhere far away from there. And I was thinking, geez, this guy must be lonely. Whoever has this place, his house is so much nicer than everyone else's. And everyone else's was pretty nice, but his was way above. So I was able to actually put myself in his shoes because I'm kind of at the top where I am right now. I mean, someone like me, I'm thinking I might have more than other people in here, you know? And I would say that that's the case. And I'm not really like a lot of the people right where I've been staying. So I was able to maybe picture what it might have been like to be that guy for a minute. I'm like a lower income version of someone like that. Maybe. Because his house was so much bigger. He had more land. And I'm thinking he must be lonely because his neighbors aren't anything like him. At least with their properties. It doesn't look like he's in, you know, easy access to talk to his neighbors at all. Doesn't look like that to me. It looks like it isn't fenced off, but he's got a lot of land. I drove by this place. It was on John Bryan Road, somewhere in Brandon. I think it was John Bryan Road or something. I don't know. I think it was. This guy has a mansion. He friggin' stands out. You drive by, you can't miss it. I was hitting up a buffet on the weekend. Got four plates, four pretty decent sized plates of this place called Fred's Market. Best Southern food in Tampa. Fred's Market. And you're not going to find any place like that in Ybor City. They situate these places actually outside of Tampa. Tampa does not have a place like Fred's Market, actually. They do not. This Southern food buffet had like everything. All the sides, all the meats except for ribs and brisket. But they had pretty much everything else, I would say. Kind of like there was this place. It's called Hickory Hollow. It's in this place called Allenton, Florida. They don't situate it in either Braden or Sarasota, but it's one of those really good comfort food places. You got to drive further out to get to it a little bit. Yeah, a little more further out to get to it. That's a prime example. That's even more in an area people don't really go unless they live there, though. But if you're the type you will travel to get good food, then you probably know what I'm talking about. If it's really that good. Yeah. Sometimes they don't put them in the city though because they want it to be more special, and they put it somewhere else, kind of near a city, but not quite in the city. So the only good barbecue place in Tampa that stands out to that level is Jimbo's, and they put that in the richest part of Tampa. It's either in the richest part of the city or it's going to be more in the country if they have good comfort food, I notice. At least around Tampa, that's how it is. Now, as far as the cigar goes, the flavors are still the same. The flavors are still the same. They're going very good. This is a great Maduro. I'm very impressed with it for them. Very impressed with it. How you can find too many better cigars at this price, honestly. Very good even burn to that. Smoking like a cigar that's much more expensive than the price that I paid for it. And they even put some of these other ones, well, their other lines, in convenience stores. So go figure, you know? These perform quite friggin' good. Better than anything I get in Ybor City, I'll tell you that. It's like prime example, you gotta go to the more gritty places to get the deals sometimes. Yeah. That that's like a perfect line right there almost. Oh, whoop, shit. Dropped it. These ashes are usually pretty hard for a while too, so might have dropped prematurely, at least in my mind. That's good. Hey, look, it ashed off and it still kept a little ash. That's a good sign. That's a good sign right there. Actually, sometimes if you can't beat some of the prices, you just have to get the deals. You absolutely do. I always try to preach to people get the deals for whatever it is you're interested in. First thing I look for is the deals. Something seems too good, like I won't get them again. I'll pay a little more. They're waking up. Now I think I taste some greens coming into this. Maybe kale. Maybe a little kale coming into this. Increasing coffee notes, graham cracker, rice, a little bit of kale now on the mouthfeel. Kale and cocoa on my mouthfeel. Like the taste around my mouthfeel. Like when you're swishing around. I'm not smoking kale and cocoa. That's like the mouthfeel. Oh, slight collard green, baby. Slight collard greens, kale. Yeah, I actually taste that bitterness of the, not a tobacco bitterness from maybe how it's aged or whatever, but like a kale and collard green bitterness. I can definitely identify what type of bitterness it is. It's not just a bland bitterness, you know. It's actually good. So it keeps its smoothness. And I don't even have to spit it out or take a drink. Shit, this thing is fucking smooth. How the hell did I even get such a smooth cigar for this friggin' price? I'm gonna have to get more of these. It's friggin' good. Christ. I'm glad I smoked this one first. Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of that dried fruit still in here. In the tea. That's still in here. Graham cracker, creaminess, a little cream coffee, a little bit. A little bit, that's increased a little. Wow. Well, the cheapest Los Toledo ones are pretty damn good, I thought. You go just a little up in price and they're excellent. It's something, just like a buck difference, and they're like excellent. You know? Go up a buck and they become like super. It's like it's something. And the lowest ones are real decent. So it just shows. But these, I believe, are out of Oldsmar, Florida. Look at that silvery ash. Look at that fucking perfection, for Christ's sakes. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Just like when I was at a supermarket before and I found a whole bunch of this pepperoni cut up ends in a big bag of it, and it was like $6.99 for all these pepperoni ends or something, or salami ends or something. This company called Roma, they came out of San Francisco or something. I remember I got this whole big ass bag of salami ends and stuff like that, and even pieces cut up. You could put them in sandwiches too, but it was like a variety of mistake cuts. But still, you got a whole lot of salami for $6.99 in a big ass bag. That's what I mean when you gotta find the deals. You know, that's what I mean by that. And nothing looked too old or discolored either. They were just mistake cuts. That's really all they were. or end pieces, and then other mistake cuts or whatever. So yeah, very good. That is a nice. It's even more even than it's been, and at the tastiest it's been. Try. Who would ever think? You know, who most people don't even think of things like this. You know, it's just just gotta go shopping. You just gotta find things to know. You know, go off the beaten path some. Or if you wake up and I hear a little bang and it feels like a weird ricochet of some kind. Uh, I'm on the bottom floor, so easy when it comes to getting out of here, though. But I wanted a first floor room when I came in here some time ago before I left. When I came back in, I happened to be on the first. Probably stayed in two rooms in this place for the time I've been here. Both end rooms, too. Right here, I taste the kale greens. I taste the chocolate, a little chocolate. I taste um, the dried fruit. That's coming out. Pretty much solid and similar. And I've probably been smoking this close to an hour now, maybe. I think close to an hour, something like that. I was already smoking it when I turned the camera on. Um, so I'm trying to see if I can remove this big shit. Like do a wash today. I gotta wash my shit bad. I'm gonna remove this band entirely. Yeah, gonna remove that. Um, Oh, the draw picked up. I didn't even have to cut another piece off. It felt tight before. I just massaged a little, and now toward the end, the drawers opened up. So it's the definition of a very good cigar right here. Nice, even burn. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna take a break. Is what I'm gonna do. Let that sit a little more. Hmm. It'll feel so good to get everything washed. Then I can put more stuff away that I'm not gonna be wearing. Or from that mildew that collected in here for the time I was sick. But with the same sweatshirt for a whole week. Well, for now, at least prices are set in Tampa still, where a poor person struggling here can still smoke cheaper cigars, if that means anything to some people. Judging by experience, where the prices are better, the conversation is better in the shop too, where the prices are better. That's just my personal experience. When the prices are way too high in some of them, though, depending on where you go, the quality of conversation you're going to get from some of the people in there is going to be lower. It's not like a conversation based place, it's more like a type of an in and out, or you sit further from everybody kind of a place. Kind of like a Vegas style lounge almost. At least the one that I've gone to. There's a little conversation maybe, but not a lot. But then there's this other place where the prices are even cheaper and the conversation in there is better amongst the people sitting in there and relaxing. That's what I find sometimes. The cheaper the prices in a sitting kind of lounge is the more quality, funny conversation you may get in that place. Listening to people's conversations, all that. Again, by personal experience. That's what I find. Just like in the most reasonably priced hand rolled place in Ybor. Someone showed up, I had a conversation with them. And not that it happened often in there, but it happened in there. Okay. I think someone was visiting from Houston, Texas, or something like that. Last time I think I went into a hand rolled place down there. I filmed it. I filmed it on one of my channels. I don't know. But yeah, I wasn't doing a review, so I put it on my main channel. So he told me he was visiting Tampa. Got a similar vibe to Houston, Texas, or something like that. But he was telling me Texas was friendly. It's just a Hispanic guy from Houston. I think Puerto Rican, which is kind of rare over there to get Puerto Ricans in Houston. It's usually an East Coast thing. It's usually an East Coast thing. And he was not like any of the Puerto Ricans over here either. He was nicer. Nicer than that. He was just telling me Texas was friendlier and stuff like that. But he likes Tampa because it reminds him of Houston or something. Maybe something like that. To a point. So when I went to a hand rolled place and had a conversation, that's who I ran into. Where the cheapest cigar might be $5 or $6, maybe. Which is good now in Ybor City. That's a good price in Ybor. But you got to go outside of Ybor to get the deals. And even go through some not so good neighborhoods sometimes to get them in the most unexpected places sometimes. But most times, cigar lounges, as a rule, are going to be in better parts of town, except for a couple, maybe. You just kind of pick and choose. But it doesn't matter where they are. If they're a good cigar lounge, it doesn't matter the part of town you're in. Your car is safe. Nobody's going to break it. Nobody. No matter where. Even in the not so good part of town, where you're in the parking enclosures and stuff of a business like that, your stuff's not going anywhere. Let me tell you, it's not going anywhere. Okay. Hell, I've even been in questionable parts here away from parking enclosures like that and more in the open in not so good parts, and my stuff didn't get taken. So maybe I was lucky, but it's weird. You'd think in a place like this, people would thieve from you very easily because everyone's out hustling, it seems like, holding up signs, like everything they can to get a little bit of money from civilians. That's what it seems like this kind of place is like. But I go walking, I don't beg for money. People saw me, I just drink a beer and shit. And that's all I do. We can talk and putting the camera on. It's really it. But I'm shocked. For the type of place this is with people doing that, my stuff doesn't get taken from me. You know? Even when I had it in the back bed of a truck, just random things, even Tupperware, even a couple things. They sat in there a long time. You know? So it just depends, I guess. Columbia, South Carolina, too. It's like I never got things taken from me over there, too. Some of the areas looked rough, too. So I guess it really just depends. Um, but yeah, places like Portland, bicycles get stolen all the time. I know for a fact you leave a bicycle probably even tied up against the wall, someone might untie it and take that thing by the next day. You definitely can't leave it loose. Like bicycle theft, for instance, is high in Portland. Here you could tie up a bicycle, it won't get taken. For a city like this that has a lot of sketchy parts, it's surprising because your stuff won't get taken at the level that it would if you're in certain neighborhoods in Portland. You know? It's like, at least that's what I've noticed. Oh, and to boot, considering there's a lot of noise pollution too around, you'd think that would make such a crazy environment that people would be stealing every fucking thing they could, right? You would think robbing and stealing would totally be a 100% fucking way of life. But yet it hasn't happened around here. So weigh out the pluses and minuses with everything. That's what it's looking like right now. Very nice ash, pretty even berm. Still same flavor profile, no major changes since I last updated. It's a good morning smoke right here. Yeah, I slept. I went out. I can't afford now to stay up till 3 in the morning. Trying to get my stuff together here. It's my coffee machine, my Foreman grill. I have to take those boxes. Still gotta do some of that. Hopefully by Thursday I can get out of here. But I gotta decide if I'm kept here any longer, it's only because there's some things I have not seen yet. Because I'm never gonna see this area again once I leave. I'm pretty confident on that. So I'm gonna get it all in now. If it takes me any longer, it's because I'm probably seeing sights and going places I haven't gone. But other than that, I'm pretty much out of here when it comes to Tampa. I'm pretty much out of here. I'll definitely say that. Hey, anyone talking? 4 viewers? No one's talking. I got 4 viewers right now. Four is enough. Say something. Getting toward the end here. 46. It's in. Fine, don't say something. Fine. The true viewers will see it afterwards anyway. I don't really care. This is note taking for me anyway. So pretty much a note taking cigar review channel. That's what it's always been since I started. A note taking vlogging cigar review channel. That's what it's been since I started it. So, anyways, see what I can do here. See what water battle. It's cooked a little bit. When I woke up, just to get some food ready. Uh, so, yeah, ravioli soup and lasagna. Great way to start out the day. Making ravioli soup and then putting together some lasagna, heating that, and then putting it in the fridge to get it all gelled in there. So when you do eat it, it will, and reheat it again, it'll all be like, be even better. So I got lasagna, I got ravioli, and I still got a little bit of that catfish stew that I saved also. Still got a little of that left. Um, I got fluff. I got peanut butter and fluff. Yes. Almost down on that container there. I got a can of soup. I got a box of macaroni and cheese. I got enough. Well, I'm not keeping a ton in here because the goal is to get out of here by Thursday. I don't know if I'll make Thursday, but I could try for it. But I gotta decide tomorrow. Is it gonna be another week or is it gonna be Thursday? Or will it be next Tuesday? I don't know yet. But I am gonna definitely be out of here. At the most by next Tuesday. For sure. Then whatever I haven't seen here yet, I'm just gonna see it. Combine with getting my things together. I'm gonna go to the beach. Probably. I might do Po Folks all you can eat on Sunday. I don't know if I go there on a Sunday or not. Flea markets are not on the agenda. Um, I'll do St. Pete. I'll go to St. Pete once. Just so I can see for myself what changed or what stayed the same. Prices have definitely skyrocketed though, all throughout here. Nope. Nobody met me while I was down here. Out of all the people who were supposedly in Florida, right? No one met me. I didn't even meet anybody. They're all fake. That's what it just shows me. They're all fake people who front. They don't have what it takes. They don't have what it takes. The Sunshine State. Um, brings in a lot of pretenders, unfortunately. Around the immediate Tampa area, I'm thinking more. People live out here. they were just all too chicken shit to meet me, really. They knew I was here. But they were playing games. They went to playing games with me route over this instead of, literally coming up to me or arranging a time to meet or something. So you lost out. All of you lost out when I was here. I mean, pretty much everybody. Maybe not all of you. I'm assuming no one's watching, but pretty much everybody who might have lived here, who knew that I was here, they fucked off totally on it. They didn't. You know what I mean? That's fine. That's totally fine. But don't come crying when you see that I ain't here no more. And that's it. Then you get in your own trouble. Some people might get into their own trouble. If you're too messed up beyond belief, I'll keep my distance from the people who are too messed up. If I pretty much know everything about them and I don't need to know any more about them, then I'll just kind of. But anyway, yeah. Quite an even burn. Quite an even burn right here. It's very good. It's going well. My battery is what's concerning. It was pretty low when I started. I had enough juice to get this going, but I don't know how low. It could be in the 20s right now. The battery power in here. Try to rest that after I'm done with this stream. Um, but yeah, the same flavors are going. This is a slow smoke. This smoke, it's still got more to go. It's still fucking got more to go here. Still got more to go. Quite a bit more to go. And I didn't even start the stream lighting the cigar. I was already friggin' smoking it. So, and it feels like I lit it right at the beginning of the camera. Some plastic cups from places I've went. I'll have to toss some of them when I'm ready to go too. Uh, so, anyways, yeah. But I found they're newer arrivals, I guess. So glad I found them. Then I got a log, Presidente, $2.99 Cohiba imitation smoke. The largest one was cheaper than the shorter one. That one was actually weird. To me. Good Christ, huh? Freaking get that one. God. When you get more smoke for the money, it saves you money for a while, actually. It's one less cigar you'll buy, at least in the immediate time. Just on that one cigar, if you get that much more smoke, that could save you from getting a whole lot, you know? And that's how I live life in the cigar. Before that, I was in beer reviews, something like that, you know? hobbies evolved. While as a child, in the smoke shop, cigars, that was going to be my future. It was actually funny. I had no cigars, but he chose to smoke those ones, pretty much. He knew about Cuban seed and stuff like that, and was aware of the cigar scene in Florida anyway. But he smoked those, so I smoked those with him when I was younger or whatever. But then that evolved, and then I ended up smoking more of those. That's how that happened, actually. It was my other stepfather who passed away in Florida here, actually, before my mom got remarried. And so, yeah, it was through him I actually got into cigars. So, at least more full. But I got the reminders of it when I was a child, though, when I was in the arcade in my hometown. As they still got a smoke shop. They still got that smoke shop with that same owner after all these years. He's still friggin' there, too. COVID didn't kill his business. He's a Greek guy. He had a cigar business in a mall with an arcade and with a Kmart. It was like an 80s style mall. And then it got abandoned and rats started infesting the whole place. And then they had to redo it. And that's when I got my very first reminders. Maybe my grandfather, when I was a kid, and that I used to go into the arcades as well. That's what started with my grandfather, really, I would say. So I had some kind of tobacco presence like this around me my whole life, but I didn't realize it was going to be like a full-time hobby of mine when I got older. So that's really how it happened, for the most part. Here and there, my uncle smoked cigars too, here and there. Maybe not as much, but they'd do it once in a while. Maybe have something better, maybe when they were doing it. I don't know. I wasn't around them when they smoked, so my father's friend lives a little more further out, kinda like in the New Hampshire area. Kind of lives near that tobacco place, and he had like a humidor in his house. So like if you went to a cookout, he'd hand me a cigar or something at a cookout or whatever. Yeah. So there are people who smoke them. There are. They're just more sparse. They're as not as prevalent. But the beginnings of me in my life, it's pretty storied. The things I've seen, the places I went, the summer camp that I went to. I first started playing basketball in the Special Olympics team. I got a whole bunch of stories, dude. A whole bunch. I'm surprised I haven't made it famous, honestly. People have told me that. It's like, Christ, how did you slip by Hollywood? You just slipped right by them. I guess the times, the generation, the situation, I didn't. I didn't do a goddamn thing wrong. I got nearly a clean criminal record. Okay. But yet it's weird. I managed to feel like a fugitive. I managed to feel like a fugitive. Going from one place to the next. Hotel to hotel, city to city, town to town, place to place, country to country, 'cause I get around and I come off. Na 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 na. I come off. Yeah. Just like the clothes on a hook. And I can barely meet the dude for five snooker when the shoulder goes up into outer space. Remember that song? Young MC, I come off. It's old. It's like 89, something like that. 88, 89. Hmm. I have Patti LaBelle's greatest hits. Just a random thought, just music I'm thinking about here. I happen to have Patti LaBelle's greatest hits. The older I get, I like music like Michael McDonald now. I used to make fun of Michael McDonald when I was young. It's funny because now that I'm older, I actually like Michael McDonald. Isn't that kind of funny? But he used to have concerts at the Van Weasel in Sarasota. I used to hear about it all the time. And like Michael McDonald, who the hell could ever go watch Michael McDonald? Now here I am. I'm older, and I like his music more. Al Jarreau. I used to laugh at the idea that I could listen to that music. You know, hell, even Gloria Estefan. It was like I used to tell people a story about how someone I asked this guy what he liked for music, and he answers me. He gives me this answer. He's like, by the way, I'm not reviewing the cigar much because I pretty much covered all the flavors. There's really nothing much to cover. It's the same flavor profile and stuff. So it's the same. I mean, it's very good still, though. It's lasting and it's a great buy. But um, so I asked this guy what kind of music he listened to, and I told other people this story too, and he answers me. He says, one of the few people that had the guts to vote Republican, actually, in the Democratic school that I was in close to Boston. He voted for George W. Bush. But I asked this kid, his name was Brian Piper. Okay. He had like this curly ass Scottish hair, right? He was Scottish, but he had this really tight hair, right? He was like heavy set. He used to talk a lot and everything. And so I asked him, what kind of music you like, Brian? He's like, anything that has a good beat. That's what it is. Anything that has a good beat. So I tell this kid that I was in the bus, like, hey, I asked this kid what he liked for music, right? And you know what he says to me? Anything that has a good beat. And he was like, and this kid was like Middle Eastern, but he was into heavy metal. Okay. He was like, anything that has a good beat. That yeah, and it's like one time in the car he was actually singing "Rhythm Is Gonna Get You" by Gloria Estefan, and he was like, "Rhythm is gonna get you." Oh God, Ugh. Like rhythm is gonna get you. like who did that at that age? I looked at Gloria Estefan at the time. Like she was more into like people in their 30s at the time, probably listening. Maybe not old people listen to her, but maybe people in their 30s. When I was a teenager, I used to think, oh, people in their 30s must like Gloria Estefan. But yeah, I like Gloria Estefan now too a lot. So it just shows when you're young, you don't think your change is not gonna your tastes aren't gonna change. I was into Slipknot at that time. Rage Against the Machine, Slipknot, some punk music too. Um, Pantera, Pantera. Very into Pantera. Philly Anselmo was my idol at one time. My idols growing up, before I ever thought I was trans, right? my idols growing up were actually people like Phil Anselmo and Bret the Hitman Hart. Just two random people, Phil Anselmo, Bret the Hitman Hart. You know, just two random people that I liked growing up. The rock band Clutch, really into them too. Pure Rock Fury, they had an album. Came out in like 99. Now this cigar's it's going great. This cigar now, it still maintains an even burn. This is an hour and a half cigar, and this wasn't even all that big. This is an hour and a half cigar. The plumes of smoke were awesome. The level of the draw was awesome. It started off tight, but and it's a tighter smoke, but it also led to a longer smoke. You didn't rush through it. It has a flavor performance, but the draw was tight when I first lit it, but it didn't affect anything. It's really a good cigar, really good. Again, for $3.49 retail, to me, it can't be beaten. You know, can't be beat for that. You know, so I get the cheapest smokes to smoke back here, and every so often I get them when I go out too and sit out and chill out in the lounge as well. If they're good, I'll get them. Like the other night, somebody actually offered me a little glass of wine, right? And I got this little cigar with it. Like it was probably like a Corona. It was probably like that, like about that. It was an Odyssey Maduro. Now, Odyssey Maduro, I thought was a terrible cigar in the larger ring gauge, like in the Toro size. It plugged up. It wasn't that good. But the tobacco tastes good on it. But the way it was rolled didn't. But the smaller one burned a whole lot better, I found. And that was the perfect thing to have with a little glass of wine, I thought. A small cigar with a little glass of wine, like a Corona. I'm like, okay. He offered me a glass of wine. Okay, so if I'm going to have a little bit of wine with that, I'm going to get what I think the right cigar is for the amount of wine that I'm going to have. So I got a Corona Maduro of the Odyssey cigar, which in the bigger ring gauges, they're really not as good. But even the Connecticut one I had in the Corona before I bought it in Oregon, I thought it tasted better. So I tried the Maduro, and sure enough, that theory was right also on that one as well. So, anyways, it just depends on the smoke. Sometimes there's brands where Odyssey's one of those, where the bigger ring gauges are not better at all. You got to get the smaller ones for that brand, and they're cheap too. They're like $2 at most, maybe. But you wouldn't know the difference if it was a smaller a Toro Fuente, really. It was just tobacco tasted good, but it's just their bigger ring gauges. There's more mistakes in them, and they plug up, and then the whole thing turns charred and gross, and just. But this one didn't do that right here. This I had a feeling it was going to be very good when I got it. Actually, I could just tell. Sometimes I have a high perceptiveness. I know when a cigar is going to be good. Usually, I have a good sense. Oh shit, 349 for this. Oh my god, it's a good deal. I can tell this is going to be decent. Assuming nothing bad happens, this will be at least decent tobacco. Um, sure enough, it performed throughout. It's been going a long time. It's been going over an hour and a half. Right here. All right. So now the taste is maybe a little bit of dried fruit, coffee, tea blend, maybe. Yeah. Creaminess, little bitterness, like the kale bitterness. Just the same stuff I was saying it was. The overall mouthfeel. A little less bitter in the mouth now than it was. Like that bitter green vegetable taste. I think it's switched to a spinach. It was it a kale before or a collard green? Now it's a spinach. I would say it's less bitter. Wow, imagine this cigar is so complex. I knew it was going to be good. This complex though, I wasn't 100% sure. I'd like maybe it will be. Hopefully it'll be something different. And it is. And it is. Hmm. Yeah, good. Very good. And the ash is still hard. I tried to ash it. Wouldn't go. I'm at the end just about now, finally. I will feel so good to wash my freaking clothes today. Christ, I got a lot to wash. At least enough of the key things I've been wearing that have kind of dirtied up. Gotta wash them. It'll feel good. It will. I'm gonna need these pants. I tried looking for a coat yesterday. I couldn't find another coat. Trying to look for a coat. Have to go somewhere today, maybe. Look for one. See if I can find anything. I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. Because I'm not leaving tomorrow. That much is sure. I finally make my decision. I'm probably gonna eat a cheese pizza for lunch. Probably gonna shop at the thrift store, get the key essentials that I gotta get. I'll probably go to two thrift stores. Probably go fit it in. I'll probably take a trip sometime to St. Pete. I don't know if I can fit it in. I don't know. Let's see. I have to go early. Maybe eat something here first before going. I'm gonna go down there. Get a parking spot or something. Maybe I'll even live stream it. This ash is pretty solid hard right now. The last time I drove to Braden Beach, fucking crowded. Couldn't get a space over there. Probably gonna try Treasure Island though next time. Maybe Indian Rocks. Very good smoke up. Very good. Um, Not too moist, a little bit. Oh, I've kept the tar content pretty down considering tar didn't really build up too badly on this either. It's the other good thing. Nice solid cigar. Highly recommend this one. Have to get another coffee. I gotta get up. I gotta get up for a little bit. before I finish the last bit here. I do because I'm on the bottom floor, so I tend to hit. I'm kind of near the manager's office, so I'll hear noise. So sometimes what I'll do is, if I don't think the noise is going away anytime soon, or people talking or just playing around or whatever, I'll just put my earplugs in and I'll sleep, and then I just happen to woke up. You know. Plus, I've been getting an early start anyway, so kind of have to at this point. Here. Kind of have to. Some more coffee. It always helps to have morning coffee or whatever, whether I make it cold or whatever, or hot. Then I have so much coffee that I can live without it for a little bit, even in the morning. It's gonna come time to pack that shit away. I don't know. Maybe make something else, refrigerate it, put it away, whatever. Right. Good. Trying to get myself into temporary guest mode here. Instead of making it like I'm gonna live here. No. Try to change my status little by little. You move to Florida, don't be surprised if you're going to be at a motel because of the shortage. And who knows, you might not even get into some of the motels. That's the problem they're having down here. It's serious. It's fucking state of emergency serious right now. Even when Portland was flooding with people, you could still get motel rooms there. But here you're gonna be hard pressed to. You gotta get lucky, just to get one of them at this point. That's how many people are living here now. A lot of these people are full time residents in motels around here. In the worst neighborhoods, too. The neighborhoods I wouldn't want that are worse than this. So sometimes I'm wondering how I got lucky to come to this one. There's some attractions. I could drive to Ybor pretty quick if I want to go there. I'm wondering how I got so lucky sometimes. But people are not even getting in motel rooms now. Many mornings I'm awake, they ask me, "You got any rooms?" No, there's no vacancies right now. It's like what I keep hearing. But a lot of these places around Tampa here, a lot of them live in these places full time. They never have openings, but they happen to be worse areas though for me too. So meant to happen, I guess. I didn't go into one of them, but they happen to be full anyway. The crappiest part of towns where there's more destitute people, even it's something because they fill up. Jayhawk Motel's full. Um, Orange Motel, all these motels, even the crappy ones, a lot of them are full. And even with the crisis in the higher brackets of people, you'd probably be the same way. Tell you, even the low end ones are full. You mean to tell me the high end ones aren't going to be? Especially if you got to live in one till you get a house. It's very tough down here right now. The governor's bringing in all these friggin' hardcore conservatives coming down here, and this is what's happening to the area. There's no availability, none. And forget getting something cheaper. I get lucky getting something cheaper, even though that didn't work out. Still, I happen to get in a central part of town, kind of in the Hispanic part of town, but still a central location for the most part. Besides all that other stuff that happened. Um, I sometimes I wonder how I even got that for 700. But it's tough. I mean, and it's tighter now than it was 2 months ago. It's tighter now down here than it was 2 months ago. Florida's the new place that they're going now. At least when Portland things were tight there with jobs and whatever else it was tight with, you could still get a motel room there. I remember that. Even in Hollywood District, I got a friggin' motel room one time. In the hot part of town. Over there. I don't know. I guess I'm just lucky. I don't know. Guess I'm just lucky, depending on the time and the circumstance. I visited Portland in 2008. I stayed at a Comfort Inn over there by the Max Line. I really lucked out with that one. I was probably paying $60 a night there, but it was by a Max straight. Maybe 65, 70 a night, but by the week it was cheaper. But Comfort Inn by the Max Line, that was like a steal. I was right by the Max Line that took me into downtown. And then I happened to get one afterwards in the Hollywood district. We're going back years. But I happened to luck out with those ones over there. Especially where I didn't have a car. I needed to be near that. And I guess God and the universe provided me with that. So I could get around at least the whole friggin' city for the most part on foot. And I did it during the nice months there. That's why I chose that time, because I had to walk everywhere. Because I had to walk everywhere. I couldn't do that out in the rain and in the winter time there. So I kind of had to go during the summer at that point. Just telling stories, just doing a flashback here. Where I have my vehicle here to get around. There's no train system. but you could still walk around and take long walks as you see me doing. But you need a car. You need a car here to get to the other places because there's no trains. And the buses are not really, they're okay, but they're not. Back in 2008, I thought Portland's bus system was one of the best I've seen since Boston. And I went there, and I was in a lot of the good parts. Well, I passed through some not so good parts. People told me I was in a shitty part of town, but I still had the Max line there. But, I mean, I didn't get robbed. So, I don't know. I guess I just been lucky in that way. A different time. I could walk to a Vietnamese karaoke bar. How many times in your life are you going to be able to see something like that? Have a Vietnamese karaoke bar within walking distance, then the train line, and then whatever else, and then convenience stores to get my 40 ounces. I remember they used to sell this 40-ounce beer. It was called Big Bear. I remember they sold Big Bear. This brand called Big Bear. They did away with it though. I used to think I thought it was a pretty good 40-ouncer too. It was like a clear bottle with red writing and a black beer. It said Big Bear on it. They had the St. Ides malt liquor, St. Ides raspberry in the bottle. They had those when I was there, for the most part. And even when I went to Columbia without a car, I lucked out because even if the neighborhood wasn't that great, I had a mall. I had food places I could walk to while I was waiting for my truck to arrive. So I'd say I skated a lot of things. Even if I didn't think I did that great in life, I would say I've made the most of my situation for what it was. And I don't think anyone can really take that away from me at the end of the day. So let's see how my luck takes me going where I'm going next. Let's see what I can skate. And let's see what comes hard. I don't know. It's really it at this point. Just the way my temperature was set in my room without the heater and without hot water for a little bit there when I got very sick. I had to plug this in. I'm gonna go now, actually. But it got me used to the colder weather, kind of, because it was like being up north for the way the temperature has been in here sometimes. It's like I've been up north. I didn't even have a heater to turn on, but it was cold out there for Florida, cold for Florida, and it got to like Portland levels at times. When I was in Portland, with the cold snap they just had here was kind of like that. 20 degrees, 30 degrees. And then I didn't have the heat or hot water. So I had to bundle up just like I was probably somewhere like upstate New York or something. No joke. Midwest, no joke. So, anyway, I've been in winter most of my life. I'll have to go back. It won't be the worst thing in the world. I have to go back to winters at least. So all looking at pluses and minuses, balances, trade-offs. Bet it snowed most of my life. So years ago, it was my mom's idea to come to Florida. I thought that I had to be in a snowy climate. I didn't think there was Florida at first. I visited maybe 3 months. Whatever. That's how I always thought you had to make it in the snow because I didn't think that there was a way out. You know, my mom moving to Florida made that possible, though. At the time, yeah. His name, the Hop. Yeah, the Hop. East Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. UPMC. Johnstown. Depressed area over there, Johnstown. Some of it was nice, but it was pretty freaking depressed. To be honest, it lasted a long time. 2 hours. You know, Toledo, twist Maduro, set it up. Set it up.